Hey Aquarius, how you doing? So we're looking at Uranus moving into Gemini after spending many years in Taurus. And these signs govern very different areas of your life and your chart that I'm looking at right now, but it's really areas of life. And so prior to now, and the official entry into Gemini happens in late April, but you've been feeling this change coming for a year or more. So where Uranus has been is Taurus, which is kind of an uncomfortable place for Uranus to be. It's in many ways created a lot of change in your home environment over the last 8 years, a lot of ups and downs, unexpected events, changes in your home situation. So you may have moved a lot, net result of that. And you may have also, there's something Uranian about your home life beyond moving, which is just a lot of changes and unexpected events. It could be that you're living with someone who's more like an Aquarius or driven by Uranus, who is on the go, maybe travels, is in and out, and not always there. There also could be a sense of freedom, and which you like. I mean, Uranus is your patron planet along with Saturn. So Uranus, what you like about Uranus is that it promotes freedom and individuality. So the good news for you is in your home environment, you've had freedom to be yourself, freedom to develop your own individual likes and schedules, and to be who you need to be. So hopefully, you know, you can relate to this. Now, I will say, if we go back to the fact that Taurus governs this part of your life, while Aquarius does love freedom and travel and coming and going and maybe even moving a lot, there's also something Aquarius really needs to have about their home life. Aquarius, despite all the freedom and, just kind of this almost bohemian vibe that Aquarius can have sometimes, or just this eccentricity that kind of attaches itself to Aquarius. You like your home life to be very comfortable and predictable. This is an area of your chart where you don't like things to change. You don't like the unexpected. You need things to be reliable and comfortable for you. That's how you maintain this Aquarian vibe and the kind of the brainiac genius vibe who can do all these amazing things out in the world. Is you need your home to be consistent and comfortable, and you need certain things. You need certain material things, so that you can feel nurtured and you can thrive. So even though you and the planet Uranus kind of vibe together somewhat, it still could have been hard. There could have been challenges over the last 7 to 8 years with having to adapt quickly, pivot quickly, in an area where you'd rather it just be kind of consistent. So now Uranus, you're one of your patron planets. You were assigned another one when they discovered Uranus, but it used to be Saturn. But anyway, Uranus is now moving into an air sign, and you're an air sign. So this suggests that the energy is much more comfortable for you. Sorry, my dog Poppy is here with us and trying to play. It suggests that this will be a more harmonious position for you. And certainly with Pluto in your sign, it's nice to have the harmony with a planet in a fellow air sign. So Pluto in your sign is going to be working very closely with this Uranian energy in an area to do with romance, creativity, children, speculative ventures, play, dating, anything fun. Like, this is where the fun is in your chart. This is where the vibrant parts of your life are held in this new area. So with children, romance, fun, creativity, all these things will be electrified. And there could be a lot of unexpected events. So certainly with children, Um, I mean, you always have the capacity, if you were to carry a biological child, to have twins, because Gemini rules this area. So just be aware of that. You could have multiple children without meaning to have multiple children. But there could be a surprise child, like you're planning to have one and then suddenly there are two. You could just a surprise pregnancy is a possibility. So this is a time in your life where you do want to pay attention to this. You can't be very cavalier here if you're in a childbearing age. You've got to be careful, and understand that there's a large capacity for sudden, unexpected, big surprises here in the area to do with children, where you can also have surprise multiple children. So just take that in, whoever you may be. But of course, children are happy surprises too. So there can be lots of happy surprises with children. Um, and certainly if you already have a child, something, and you just have one child and you already have the child before all this comes in, there could be, this could be more affecting, like their life has lots of unexpected twists and turns, or maybe they're very creative and kind of genius level. And then you've got to learn how to be a parent, with Pluto in your sign, you're learning how to parent a child who's very Uranian in nature. And I would just read a lot about Uranus and how it impacts, people, and read also about your own sign, because these things kind of can blend a little bit. Aquarius is more the human side of this energy. Uranus is more like just the energy itself. And so, and an influence. And so, but the influence on children in your life, if we're dealing with that piece of this area of life, I could see your child needing like unexpected support, but also this child is very gifted, I would say. So there's that. And you may realize, oh, wow, look what we're dealing with here. And so it's just then the Pluto in your sign is taking responsibility for that and being able to do the Persephone cycle, because there's a cycle to Uranus being flipping. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, surprise, surprise, surprise. And then Pluto in your sign is the cycle of Persephone. So it's coming up into the light, into the spring and growth, and then going back down into, it's hard to say darkness because I don't want to imply your life will be dark in any shape or form. It's more like a cycle of understanding your own energy. You may need to regenerate and then deep rest, regenerate, deep rest. And you may need to get your whole family on board, and it may be because of the child, and it could be the child needs that too. So that's for people if there's like a family children situation. If it's about romance, same thing. Like, let's say you're just dating, and this is where you are in life, you're dating. It's the same thing. Like you could suddenly a surprise person comes in, surprise, you didn't expect it, never expected it. They're very Venus, like there's a lot of Venus quality to this person, could be a woman. Doesn't have to be, because they're like if you're dating a Taurus or a Libra, Venus is their patron planet. But so, and there could be two, like there's something kind of like unusual, eccentric about dating in this new era for you. There could be two love interests. You could have, how do I want to say? You could discover that your sexual preference is very fluid. So there could be two, I don't want to get too like literal about it, because there's so many different, you may be very traditional, and this may sound horrible to you. It doesn't have to be that, but I want you to know, if you are thinking that you are gender fluid somehow and your sexual preference is fluid, and that can be included here. And that's something with the Pluto, it's like this deep cycle of change, like you're going through a Pluto cycle for many years, really changing who you are, your identity. So that very much goes with some kind of identity issue. Not that it's an issue that's bad, but it's just some kind of identity shift going on with you and your sexuality could be a part of this major personal growth that you're going through. And your love life may be intense and have cycles to it. There may be a long distance component. Maybe the person who comes into your life has children. And so then there's this blended family situation that could just something to think about that may be shocking for you. Like, I never expected this, you know. Also, your creativity is off the charts. Like, your ability to create is off the charts. Your ability to build something off the charts. So it's a very, like, you're kind of in your genius years with creativity, and that could include inventions. Creativity doesn't need to be about art exclusively. Creativity can happen in science just as well. There's also this idea of writing and speaking that's very big here. And so communication, using technology to communicate, that's really big for you too. So it could be a time where you're very creative in that particular way. There's a lot here about communication, communication, communication. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to school, running a school, something with community online or locally, like if you're an organizer locally in your community, getting very involved in your community, which is an interesting thing for an Aquarius to do. There's a lot more people energy here than you would think of with the natural state of an Aquarius, but there's a lot here about school, community, communication, togetherness. But it could just be like a school vibe where you're learning. But there's also here about writing. There's a lot here about written communication. It could, for some of you, be legal in nature, like you may work in a legal capacity somewhat, but going back to where Uranus is, it's more, it feels like you want to focus on what's fun. Keep things fun for yourself, because Pluto in your sign is a lot of weight to carry. So keep things fun, keep shaking up. It's kind of like you need to keep shaking up your romantic life. You need your romantic life to be not stale. So you can't have like a stale, boring romantic life here. I think this is very important for an Aquarius right now. And for the coming years, you need to be interested, you need to feel, I don't know what the right word is, but you definitely can't be bored. You may find that you need to date multiple people if you're single. You need to just keep shaking it up, and that's just where you are right now. You may not feel ready to commit to one person or even more than one person. Like, you may just need that kind of stimulation where it's what your nervous system needs. But there's also this idea that you are carrying Pluto, so you need time to maybe regenerate, and then you have energy for it, and then time to regenerate, and then you have energy for it. It's the same with any project that may be here, whether it's child related, creativity related, or romance related, or even just fun. Fun, the definition of fun may cyclically change for you. So, for a few months, fun may be laying on your couch and watching TV and just like in a semi-brain dead state. But then fun for other months of the year may be getting out and being really active and doing really new things and exploring and, pushing the envelope of what you do. So the definition of fun could change a lot for you. And a lot of it has to do with this Pluto in your sign. So we're kind of bringing in Pluto just because it is so intricately tied to what's going on in this area. But that's where Uranus is going to start really changing your life. So unexpected children, be careful of that one if that's not what you want. Unexpected needs and romance, and play and fun. And then maybe some speculative ventures that could bring in money through your creativity, through something to do with children, through something to do with romance. Maybe you run a dating site. I don't know. But, you can be creative. Remember, your creativity is off the charts. But it does seem like money, I don't want to say like make promises, but yeah, I think go with what I've said so far. But the Uranian energy, I would say overall for you is very comfortable. So the unpredictable nature of it being carried in Gemini, a fellow air sign for you, is going to make it feel much more refreshing than it did when it was in your home life and where you want things to kind of be stable and feel comfortable. It was not always making your home life comfortable, your home situation comfortable for you, or the type of comfort and calm that you need. So now it's moved on to a place where it's going to be more exciting. I think there's excitement coming in. Your life is going to be more exciting. And because this fifth house area where it's moved into Gemini is the area of fun, your life could become a lot more fun. But I think to handle it, it's like you need to be open-minded and allow maybe new things you haven't thought of before. And I don't know what that means for you, but there's a new kind of creativity, a new kind of way to date, a new way to parent. I don't know what it means for you, but your life could become a lot more fun, but it involves being like quick on your feet, able to pivot quickly and being open-minded, if that helps. All right, take care.